Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got a non-bingo rack, but I do have a couple of vowels, so I should be able to play through this. Fung is good. Ideally, I'd like to split up duplicate T, but it's not the worst tile to have as a duplicate. So I have fung, I have enough, and I'm not seeing any other candidate plays. Oh wow, fantastic start for opponent. So do I have a bingo? Let me briefly consider these floaters. Vowels probably more useful. I have the un prefix. I have the full ending. What about the O? Not seeing anything. So I do have fung in row I, but do I have a double through this L? I have netful and fluent, but they're not doubles. No. So this is what I'm thinking of. Fung for 23. Well, not too bad, slightly short on vowels. So where are the floating vowels? E and U. Well, opponent takes out both of those. Nice play. So what can I do here? Again, do I have a double? Unlikely with only one vowel. Nothing across to the triple word square. Fung takes an I, O and S. So I have crept on my rack. Not seeing anywhere for that. Quag takes an S. So I could play crest. Let me see what this scores. 29 points, that's not bad. Doesn't set anything up for opponent. That's huge. So I am burning the S. Can I get anything like this score or around the 20 mark while hanging on to it? No, I don't think I can. I think playing pressed is going to be better because the C is more bingo-y. I'm going with this. Well, I do have a couple of vowels, but it's still a fairly non-bingo-y rack. No A's and E's, and the F is a non-bingo-y tile. Still no U or A for going above the I of fungi, but I do have the vowels which go on the end of fung. But I'm not seeing a way of reaching the double word square. Pressed has taken out the double lane. I trail by 40. I don't think there'll be any 8s with this rack. I'm certainly not seeing one with any of the floaters on the board. At the moment, there are a couple of bingo lanes in columns 12 and 13. There's also row L. Top left is slightly more restricted. P and L not great floaters. Wow, nice score for opponent, which of course crest would not have allowed. However, I now have flock and flick, which is quite nice. I think flock is better for 42 points, and that's opening a new lane in column 2. I'm going with this. Well, another non-bingo rack. Sometimes you start the game with several, and in this instance I've had none, but I'm still within reach of opponent. But I'm not sure there's terribly much I can do with this rack. I'm going to struggle to split up the duplicate R. I have Judd, but I'm not seeing anywhere for that. Opponent scoring well. Well, there is now a Judd spot, but it's quite dangerous. Well, opponent would need an S to go after IU, but there's a very easy 27 points. I don't think I need to worry about that. So Judd, I think, is the play. I'm not seeing anywhere else to score well with the J, and I do want to get rid of that since it's non-bingo-y. I'm going with this. Well, too many R's, but the rest of the rack is fairly reasonable, just about. I'm going to struggle to score here with only 1 and 2 pointers. I've got GIRR. Great, only 32 points for opponent. So I'm thinking about GIRR. It's taking out almost all bingo lanes. It's only scoring 16 points. But there is still a bingo lane in column 2. Which is hard to block. Only 16 points. Nug is good, but I'm not seeing any ways of getting that to play twice. What about gripped? Well, that is good. Well, what about girl? Tyre is quite a nice 4-letter set, even though it hasn't got a preponderance of consonants. This is a nice set. I'm leaving alone the bingo lanes. In particular, I've got the I for going after fung. And 10 points isn't massively shorter than 16, given all the strategic and rack leave advantages. Do I have something down from the T? Nothing great. I am going with this. Finally, I have a decent rack, and surely I am bingoing now. There are a ton of 7s with this rack, which I can play in column 13. Do I have a play in column... Well, opponent's taken that out, but he's provided a floating D. So this rack plus a D. Well, tardiest. Does that have an anagram? Preferably beginning or ending in D. I feel that tardiest does have an anagram. Striated. Striated, yes. Fantastic. That works. Striated for 80. Bang! And I am back in the game, just 6 points behind opponent. But with a very non-bingo-y rack. Can I get value from the H and the M? Still both blanks to come with only 36 tiles in the bag. Great, opponent doesn't immediately bingo. Oh wow, I was optimistic that I would have a TH play in column 8. And I do, I have theme. Okay, 42 points. Shocking rack leave, but 42 points is excellent. So let's see what happens. Well, not surprisingly, it's non-bingo-y, but I do take the lead. I have a scoring tile in the Y. Let me check the remaining vowels. 18 out of 36, so exactly half the bag of vowels. So I am going to struggle with this rack for a few turns, probably. Hard to play off a lot of vowels with this rack. I have UE, but that just leaves 3 vowels and a consonant. Wow, opponent has both blanks, scores 77 points, so I now trail by a bingo. And I've got a non-bingo-y rack. So, can I get value from the Y and play off vowels? And keep the board open for bingo lanes? A tall order, I feel. I can't even see anywhere to play YOU, which would leave Iraqli with no duplicates. Well, I have you're here for 14, creating a new lane. So this does have some merit, and it's not, well, there are so many vowels to come that opponent can get an easy 30 points in row D. But what else am I going to do with this rack? 13 minutes on my clock. What about a play from the H? Hoodie for 24, keeping AEU. Not giving terribly much away, keeping the bingo lanes open. The R is a useful floater, which your took out. And this is 10 points more than the YOU play. No more U's to come. A and D are bingo-y. Well, I'm likely to draw more vowels. But if I don't keep scoring, then a bingo isn't going to be enough to catch opponent. I am going. Is there a way of playing off one more vowel? Not that I can see. I'm going with this. Well, I'm swamped with vowels, and this is the situation you get into when you have a lot of vowels, unless you're able to clear them out. And I'm struggling to do that. Ideally, I would have a 6-letter play in column 15, but I don't. And vowels are all one-pointers, so it's a struggle to score. But there are still bingo lanes on the board. There's rows B and C. There's columns 2. There's M and E of theme. Well, I guess I can play EAU or AUE somewhere, keeping lobe, and that's a slightly more balanced rack. 48 for opponent. Just wondering if I can score off ZO when you've only got 1 point tiles, or mainly 1 point tiles. You're looking at the scoring tiles on the board. And I was just looking at the Q. I do have QUO, but that's where the story ends. I don't think I can score off ZO. Odd takes A and E, so the best I could do would just be OE. Might be worth doing. Let me see what this scores. 18 points. Not bad, and I've got the double ending, and I don't wish to turn over tons of tiles since I trail. So this does have some merit. Still 2 ends to come. Opponent might be tempted to make a small play down there. B and U are fairly non-bingo-y, and there's another B to come. Plus V and W, which go badly with B. Let me put this back and see if I can find something better. So EAU was my initial thought. 12 points for that. And AUE, well, that doesn't play down the bottom. I'm going to go back to OE for 18. Well, I draw 2 more vowels to replace the 2 I've played. So often the lot of the Scrabble player. I do now have a play in column 15. I have Abelia, which will sort the rack out, retaining just a U. Yeah, well, let me see what this scores. Ah, well, it's not Abelia, it's Abulia, which is better. Abulia, 32 points. I think this is the play. And, well, I trail by 100, so I think I need a score of this order plus a bingo. Well, that's not going to happen. And it could well be opponent who's bingoing, given the remaining tiles. Look at that. 11 tiles, all 1-pointers. So, what am I going to do here? Well, it's just damage limitation now. No bingos here, no 7s, no 8s. So, I have Vibe in row B. And I'm not seeing anything better than that. And I don't have either of the ends for going after Zoo. I have Beaver in row C. That's going to be higher scoring than Vibe and may disrupt opponent's bingo. So 1 tile left. This is what I'm thinking of, Beaver for 22. Yeah, I am going with this. So opponent's got Latins, and I don't think he's got anywhere for that. Does that have an anagram? And this is my rack. If opponent doesn't bingo, can I go out in 1 with E-I-O? I don't think I can. Not seen anything so far. E-I-O. No, not seeing anything. So, a quiet end to the game. I have O-E in column 3. I would have Oni through an N. Great, opponent doesn't bingo. And I think Toys is good. For 5. Yes, it is. And the final score, 371 for me, 458 for my opponent, a winning margin of 87 points. So well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. So it was opponent to go first, and they played Pleuron, which was a great spot. My rack. Wow, full gent, that's nice. It's not a double-double, but it clears the rack out. I played Fung for 23. Opponent has the blanks for quite a while, plays Quag. And Spect, K7. Spect and Quag playing off the P and the C. That would have been better than pressed by a few points. Now, opponent, well, interesting. Opponent has a choice of bingos, but I suspect he may have preferred to take 38 points and bingo the next turn, but I don't think that's the right play if he had seen unmakes for 96. Unmakes and fungs for 96, that is a 58-point sacrifice, and the blank's only worth 25 to 30, so I think that has to be regarded as a miss. My rack. I play Flock for 42, that looks fine. Opponent plays Yin. And now I have Judd for 40, which looks fine. Opponent plays 6. So, here we go. I thought about Gur, didn't like the way it choked the board up. And went with Girl for 10, so I dropped 10 points, but trigger, F12, through the G, keeps just the R, and I kept EIRT, so is EIRT 10 points better than R? No, it's not. R is a good tile, probably worth 0, half or 1, something of that order. Yeah, probably about 1. And EIRT is good, but it's probably worth somewhere between 5 and 8. So there could be a 6 or 7 point difference there and a 10-point difference in score. So the moves are close, and certainly Tyre is a much better rack lead. Opponent's rack, and he's got Viaduct, which he misses. Viaduct and Fungi. Wow. That's good news for me. And here we go with the better rack lead that I kept. I do now have a bingo. I have straighted and striated. Opponent's rack, no vowels, plays witch. And I do have the vowels and have theme for 42, keeping 3 of them, which sowed the seeds of the future racks in terms of vowel heaviness. Great rack for opponent, has trendies, but F13, wow, look at this, deviator in column 13, making fungic. Wow, that would have been immense. 98 points, 22 more than the next best bingo. Now, my rack, tons of vowels, and I play hoodie for 24. I felt I needed to keep scoring. And look at it, all of these plays have very vowel-heavy rack leaves. Opponent has a very balanced rack, plays zone. And again, I'm struggling with vowels. I play OE for 18. Yeah, and I think that's fine. Opponent's rack plays O, and Abelia was good, and I played Abelia for the better rack leave. Now, opponent's rack, and he has a bingo, N5. Through the M, Staminal, Zune, and oh dear, wow, really hard to see. Plays minor, and now 1 tile in the bag. I play Beaver, which gives me a chance of going out in 1, whereas Vi for 5 more points definitely doesn't. An opponent does have a bingo, D6. Where's this? Oh, yep, Latins by, N, and as. Wow, okay, so a miss at the end there, plays slant, and that gives me the only out of toys. So, what a game, absolutely cracking fun. Opponent got off to a splendid start with a bingo and also had both blanks to bingo in the middle of the game, so I was playing catch-up throughout and hit heavy weather in the middle with vowels, but I felt I was always within reach of opponent, but I did need a bit of luck in terms of the tiles towards the end to catch opponent, and that wasn't to be on this occasion. So, many congratulations to my opponent on his victory. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.